Hello everyone, welcome to Lisa HORTON Crafts. My name is Natalia, and in this video I will show you how I've created a pop-up box card with the floral Peony Rose stem. So here I'm using Ultimate stamping platform and I'm using Peony Rose floral stencil, and I'm adding inks to the stencil with the brushes. So for the first layer I'm using Bundle Sage and I'm using Distress Oxide inks. So here I'm using peeled paint for the second layer. For the floral I'm using a Sponge Sugar ink and I'm adding this color ink lightly. So here I'm using another stencil and I'm using the same ink, Sponge Sugar, and I'm applying lots of Sponge Sugar ink. For another stencil I'm using Kitsch Flamingo. And for the last layer I'm using Picked Raspberry. So I'm applying to the biggest flower just all the way around, trying not to add any inks to the center. Now I will use a Wild Honey and I'm using a stencil brush to add a yellow ink to the center. So I've die cut lots of flowers. Here I'm showing how I'm cleaning my stencil. So I'm using a little spray bottle with water and I'm applying water, spraying water to the stencil and taking away excess of the water with the microcloth. Some of the stencil, as you can see, are very detailed, so I'm trying to take the water away carefully. So here I've got A4 card, 6 centimeters wide, and I'm scoring at 1, 7, 19, 25 centimeters, and I'm cutting away at 26 centimeters. Also I'm cutting card for the back of this box, measuring 12 centimeters by 14 centimeters. So here I'm scoring and creasing. Here I'm creasing the lines, the skirt lines for the box. And I'm cutting at the top little corners. So also I've scored a card and I've cut the strips for the inside. And here also I'm cutting some of the strips, measuring 2 by 8 centimeters for the corner of the pop-up box. And I'm scoring them. Later I will change my mind and I will do something different. So now I'm putting the box together and I'm adding a red tape to the edges of this box and to the strips. So those strips will go to the inside of the box. So I'm creasing the skirt lines. So here on the side of this box I will mark the center for those strips. So I'm using a piece of card, the same width as the side of the box, and I'm measuring 2 centimeters between them. So here I'm positioning the strip of this card and I'm remove the backing for the strong tape and I'm leveling up the top of the box and I'm gluing. And I'm doing the same for another strip of the card. So now I will adhere the other side of the strips to the box. So I'm starting with the first one. So I'm gently just adding to the card without not pressing too hard, and I'm folding on both sides so that we're gonna go flat. And I will do this the same with the other strip of the card. So I'm adhering this side and then folding again. Here is the front of the box. So now I will adhere the back of this card to the box. So here is the box. Now I'm using a frame it stamp and die set, and I've die cut lots of stitch detail strips, and I'm adhering them with the double-sided tape. So here I'm positioning all the strips to the box to the front before I'm adding them to the box. So I'm starting with the bottom strip first and then to the top, and I'm continuing to add more strips. So I'm cutting some of the ends of those strips in the corner of the box, and I'm continuing to add more strips to the side of the box. So here are the corners for the box. So I'm a bit struggled to glue them together to the box because of the bulkiness and thickness of the card. It didn't want to fold flat, and it was quite bulky. And it's where I've decided to just cut away. So because of the thickness of the card, I couldn't glue this folded strip of card. So I've cut this strip away, and instead I will use single strips, which measuring 1 centimeter by 8 centimeters. So here I'm cutting some of those strips. And I'm gonna glue those strips to the corners. So at the top I've left for the strips 5 millimeters and the bottom about 1 centimeter. So here I'm positioning them level, trying to be sure they're all level by adding them to the glass mat. And I'm continuing to add those strips to the side also. So I'm adding glue only to the center of the strip, so I'm trying to leave the ends free of glue. So here I've chosen a pattern paper, and I've cut the pattern paper to go for the inside, so it's slightly smaller than the back of the box, and I've used the corner punch for the corners. And here I'm adding the pattern paper with the red glue to the back. Here I'm adding 3D foam pads to the floral, and I'm adhering this floral to the back of this box. So now I will add those flowers to the inside of the strips of the card, and I'm cutting some of the excess away on the bottom, and I'm continuing to add more flowers, gradually slightly lower than the back of the flowers. And here I've fussy cut out some of the flowers. So I'm cutting away also some of the leaves, and this flower will add to the front of the box. So this flower will go in the front also. So here I'm adhering this flower to the front with the wet glue, and I'm touching to the back of the front. So here I'm using on the edge congratulation die and stamp, and I'm using ultimate platform to stamp the sentiment with black ink, nocturne ink, VersaFine Clair. So I'm tapping twice, and I'm die cutting the sentiment and the shadow from pattern paper and adhering them together. So now I will add the flower with 3D foam pads to the front of the box. And I'm adding those little flowers and leaves to the front also. So I'm adhering partly 3D foam pads to the end of the sentiment and some wet glue, and I'm adhering to the front on top of the flowers. So here I'm using acetate and cutting them to the thin strips and adhering those acetate with the red tape to the back of the flowers, just to support the flowers and to make them more stable. Here I'm stamping a sentiment. So I'm cutting this strip of the sentiment and I will adhere to the pattern paper, and I'm cutting away all the way around, leaving a little border, and I'm adhering the sentiment with 3D foam pads to the box. So here I'm using little dewdrops, they're absolutely beautiful, and decorating the box. Here is the box, all finished. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Please subscribe for more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell for more video tutorial. Take care, bye!